Migrant Mayhem here for you again. It is Friday, January 19th. Come on in and let's review the dumpster fire that is Migrant Mayhem. What a dumpster fire we got it blazing now here in Chicago and nationally. From sea to shining sea, we've got a dumpster fire. Okay, so welcome. I am DJ Wonder Chrissy. This is Migrant Mayhem. This is Land Cruiser Midwest. Go ahead and like, share, and subscribe if you would. We're here to provide you guys with a daily update on what's going on with our open border, our migrant crisis. That we're at 33,000 migrants in the city of Chicago now. It's like a cockroach infestation that has left to manifest itself. It's worse than our rats that we got here. And to go along with that, we brought them some cold temperature and snow, and they're loving it, I guess. They're loving it. And we've got all of our politicians to blame for that. That's Chris Christie of the Midwest, also known as J.B. Pritzker, and Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago, also known as Let's Go Brandon, here on this show. So let's start with this video I got here for you, where they're talking about some concerns that they have in the Pilsen shelter. It's got maybe like 1,500 people in it that they believe have been covered up. Yes, swept under the rug. But let's hear what they got to say about that.
Migrants are living in. After questions were raised about the Johnson administration's lack of transparency about their response to the complaints, today we obtained emails with the details. At the city's largest migrant shelter, a mother hustles her child inside to get out of the cold. Others crowd around the van of a volunteer who brought items of clothing and blankets to help them cope with the bitter cold that continues to grip the city. Nearby, surrounded by chunks of frozen snow, there are still parts of a memorial in honor of 5-year-old Juan Carlos Martinez, who died from unknown causes in December.
We have been asking for transparency from the Johnson administration for literally months. And we've been asking for it in some pretty specific ways.
3 weeks after the shelter first opened in early October, complaints about conditions were brought to the attention of 11th Ward Alderwoman Nicole Lee. She immediately informed the city. In this email she sent the evening of October 28th, obtained by ABC 7 News, Alderwoman Lee informed the mayor and top officials about numerous concerns about the shelter. The complaints included insufficient bathrooms and insect cockroach infestation.
The city officials responded pretty immediately, acknowledging that they received my email, that they were concerned about this as well. They wanted to go ahead and investigate what was going on.
The initial response by the city to media requests for emails of the city's response included heavily redacted documents, but today ABC 7 obtained clean versions which show the deputy mayor overseeing the migrant situation responded in just over an hour, indicating several issues were new to city officials. The following evening, the Commissioner for Family and Support Services offered a detailed response addressing the concerns, noting an exterminator was being sent for the cockroaches.
When we see redacted documents like this, and especially in the midst of tragedies and conditions in shelters, we gotta act upon the highest level of integrity and transparency.
The mayor's office issuing a statement today saying since being notified of problems at the shelter, the city has taken action to address the situation, but the mayor's office also acknowledging there is more work to be done. Alderman Cicho Lopez tells me that tomorrow the Latino caucus will be meeting with city leaders to discuss oversight of the shelters and the need to improve conditions.
Watch breaking news on YouTube.
So there you go. There's the first update. Brandon's been hiding. He came out of his little lair or hiding hole a couple days ago, and had lots of news to talk about. In that meeting that he was supposed to have with all these mayors from around the cities of Chicago, kind of fell by the wayside. And let me situate myself here a little bit better for you guys. So that was temporarily rescheduled / canceled, and I think things are getting worse. Financially, things are getting worse. We had a video yesterday where we had a gentleman from Naperville, so very, very affluent western suburb of Naperville. One of their council people suggested that they should start a list of homeowners and residents who would like to take people in. Yeah, right. The councilman never got his name put on the list. But this next video I have is about a gentleman, a home rehabber or some type of developer who opened up one of his buildings to 54 migrants who will subsequently trash it. And if you read between the lines here too, I think this guy's going to be using some of these Venezuelans as illegal laborers. At this point, I think if you're hiring these Venezuelans to do work, you're technically in violation of some type of state or federal laws. I would think by hiring people, paying them under the table is probably not a valid thing. You guys tell me. If you're in business, you get caught paying somebody under the table, what kind of trouble can you get? But this guy, if you read between the lines, I think that he sees an opportunity here for helping his company thrive. So let's play this video, and you can decide for yourself.
The 60-day shelter deadline for migrants until February 1st because of the cold weather.
It comes as one man is making it his mission to help asylum seekers by welcoming them into his own building. CBS 2's Sabrina Franza has a story.
8 units, 60 beds, one big heart.
I worship God. I don't worship money. So I decided to put that money to do something good with it. Trabajo! Trabajo!
Once vacant, while he made fixes at the request of the city, 54 people are now living at Chris Amator's building.
Necesitamos más trabajo para los compañeros.
It's full of asylum seekers who say they need permanent work.
Necesito dinero para ayudar a mi familia.
Johnson Aguilarte is hoping to send money back to his family in Venezuela. Now having met...
So what I have to say is, what entitles them to permanent work? You're here illegally, and now you think that you're entitled to permanent work? What? Where is this insanity gone? I mean, you let somebody into your country illegally, and then they think they own the place. Please, this insanity's got to stop.
Chris, he's one step closer.
I was working at my house in my basement one day, and it was like 9 in the morning, and someone's ringing my doorbell, and it was 4 Venezuelan migrants.
Johnson was one of them.
I gave him my office address, and I said, if you want to work, come to my office on Monday. And then they showed up an hour and a half early on Monday.
When Chris found out about the hundreds of migrants that were staying at the city's landing zone, he visited them, offered his own space.
No one was able to shower. No one, people were eating out of garbage cans, so it was kind of like, so I thought I would just come and help.
Bought everyone a mattress, filled the fridges with food.
Which is nice, so they have their own space.
Something many people take for granted. The house has a mantra.
Juntos fuerte! Yeah! Juntos fuerte, right? Like, together we're strong.
Not many people would do what you're doing.
Well, I mean, I've had a lot of success in my life. And I'm very grateful to God for that. And
we'll see how long his optimism stands on this after they trash his place. They start stealing him blind. you know, there's probably lots of things they can do. And I'm sure his utility bills are going to go through the roof with 54 people in a building that's probably meant for 10 or 15. So let's see if you do a follow-up on this.
I don't know what it is. Something kind of like snapped in me, and I feel like I'm on God's plan, and I'm just trying to help.
His plans have hope for the future.
I also have another building just like this that I could use as well if they need it.
The Johnson administration.
Mayor Johnson says that he's going to define the soul of Chicago. And I asked Mayor Johnson, I got 54 souls right here that need your help.
An offer of collaboration in South Shore. Sabrina Franza, CBS 2 News.
So there you go. There you go. People helping people. Yeah. Let's see. I had a nice video here. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see. Here's the one we talked about.
Join the community.
We talked about the hospitals being overrun, and actually not necessarily due to the migrant crisis, but I saw an article in a local newspaper and a local website called Lake McHenry County Scanner, where one of the hospitals in Lake County, which is taking in some migrants, was just sold recently to a different company over in Waukegan, where this is where the hospital's located. And one of the county coroner sent a letter to county board saying, you know, hospital doctors are leaving in droves, nobody's getting paid. All sorts of issues are happening in this hospital, which was just changed hands in July of this last year, is going under. It's going under, and you know, they got some issues, and she's actually talking about having the county take over this hospital because it's in a low-income area. They need a hospital, and it's floundering. It's ultimately going to go under, I think, here. So here's a report about what's happening in New York City. And if you've been following our channel here, you know that what happens in New York City is coming to Chicago too, because we're following the same process and setup as they are. So let's watch this as they talk about the impact on the hospitals.
Record number of migrants crossing into the U.S., pushing resources to the limit in many American cities. Now hospitals are sounding the alarm, saying they're also overwhelmed, including some far from the border. Julia Ainsley has our report.
Tonight, the border crisis surging. Officials telling NBC News there were over 200,000 illegal crossings at the southern border last month, and a record 3 million migrants crossed the border in the last year. Now, a new warning 1,000 miles away in New York City, where officials tell us resources are overwhelmed. Across public hospitals in New York City over the last year, nearly 30,000 visits by migrants and 300 new babies born to migrant moms. Staff here at Bellevue Hospital tell us they're eager to help, but the numbers are tough.
This has been the hardest work that I've ever done, but it's been the most impactful work that I've ever done.
And most of the visits to the taxpayer-funded legal clinic here are by migrants.
Our clinics are full, and there are waiting lists, and people are turning people away or referring them to other places.
Randy Redkin from New York's legal assistance.
So as the migrants fill up all the various social services and hospitals, who gets put to the side or the back burner? It's the American citizen. Go figure, right? So as we let more of these people in and more of these people find out they can get a lot of free help and medical care and financial care and law care, the American citizen is the one left holding the bag and ultimately paying the bill and being pushed down the ladder.
This group says so many migrants are asking for legal help on asylum representation and health care access. Now, she says, American citizens who need legal assistance with issues like eviction and insurance have to wait up to 10 weeks.
If you ask me, do we need more resources for legal services? I would say absolutely yes.
Meanwhile, New York's governor now slamming the situation at the border.
It is too open right now. People coming.
Governor here just allocated $2.4 billion for the migrant crisis for some reason. The insanity continues to grow in New York City. Where it all ends, I have no clue, but we're going to see something happen in the next couple of months for sure. I think so.
From all over the world are finding their way through, simply saying they need asylum.
And New York Mayor Eric Adams saying providing services for migrants will cost city taxpayers $12 billion. But Biden administration officials have blamed Adams' response. It is not an operationally sound effort, one senior DHS official told NBC News. Meanwhile, migrants on the streets are desperate for city help. We met Orlando.
Yeah, the average migrant is getting a $400 to $500 a night, 3-4-star hotel in Manhattan at this point, folks. $300 to $400 is what the city of New York is paying for each room that a migrant is staying in.
Ando, who fled violence in Venezuela. He didn't want to appear on camera, telling us he slept on the street before coming to Bellevue for cancer treatment.
How is that for you, given your medical condition, to be sleeping on the street?
You have to make believe it's a good bed, a
Hey, it's a hell of a lot better in Venezuela where you get nothing.
king size, and you lie down wherever and go to sleep, he says. Orlando tells us he came to New York because he heard about the social services the city would offer to migrants like himself, who were trying to start a new life.
The Biden administration recently granted.
We're pulling these people into the United States with our actions. We need to change our actions and send a different signal.
Temporary legal status to nearly 500,000 Venezuelans, allowing them to work. Today, Governor Hochul announced there are 18,000 jobs now available to eligible migrants.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated.
Gee, just think what would those jobs could do for an American citizen. If we forced some more of the American citizens to take those jobs, or created those jobs for the American citizens that may need a job at this point. You're seeing more and more people, hit the breadline now, folks. You're seeing banks are starting to lay people off. There's big company after big company that's showing up and saying that they're going to do layoffs this year. I think I saw a report that 38% of CEOs that were interviewed this year by one of the newspapers said that they were going to do layoffs. So get ready, folks. Get ready. It's about to get crazy.
Soldiers while we're building the wall.
We need to build that
And
wall.
remember when I used to say Mexico will pay for pieces of the wall, but you can't do it legally. It's a little hard for them to pay for a wall that we own. It's not that easy. But there was no real legal mechanism. But there was a mechanism where they could pay for soldiers. So I want 28,000 soldiers on the border. I want a remain in Mexico policy. I got all this stuff, and I got it despite the State Department. Everyone else is telling you can't get it. A woman at the State Department was terrific, but she was not a good negotiator. She said, "Sir, you can't get free soldiers from Mexico. We've been asking them for years. They won't do it." I said, "Yes, they will. 100% they'll do it. 100%. And as far as catch and release, catch and release meant we release them into our country. We had a new definition. Catch and release, we release them into Mexico. Slight difference.
So there you go. Let's hear some more from him.
Do not come.
And Kamala.
Do not come.
I'm going to come.
That's the message we need to send, folks. One more time on that one.
Do not come.
This is a classic.
Do not come.
I'm going to come.
So there you go. I am DJ Wonder Chrissy. This is Migrant Mayhem. That's today's episode of Land Cruiser Midwest Migrant Mayhem Update. Like, share, and subscribe. Please comment down below what you think about the show. Let us know what you think needs to be done to change the situation in Chicago and New York and our nation. All right, guys, over and out, and God bless Trump.